There is one thing that from the moment we wake up in the morning to the moment we go to bed, we're surrounded by all over the place. From the moment we wake up, you open your eyes, you see something, and immediately you think of something. It could be you looking at the clock, probably, well, oh, I'm early or I'm late. You're probably looking, you wake up and the moment you open your eyes, you say, I'm not feeling good today. So we have a thought immediately, or pretty much every time, almost like every second of the day, you have a thought. You look at something and you have a thought. You see one color and you have a thought. You listen to something and you have a thought. You look at one person and you have a thought. Sometimes we really don't think much about it, but many times a color, a person, a sound can mean something to us. It means something to us based on a previous experience. So when something means something to us and we have that thought in our heads, what follows a thought is emotion. So that's the one thing that we're surrounded all day, everywhere we go. From the moment we wake up and we have breakfast and we're getting ready to go to work, or you're getting ready to probably to go to the gym, and you get to work, or when you're driving, everything that we see we create a thought and creates an emotion on us. You turn on the radio and they're probably playing a song from back in the day when you were 17, and it gives you memories. So it creates an emotion, or it's a song that you don't like and it creates an emotion. So emotions are all over the place. They can be, like I say, they can be colors, they can be things, they can be people, they can be just so many things. That's what I call emotional currency. When finding the emotion that you find pretty much when you're having a conversation with someone, you can have a whole cocktail of emotions and it can go up and down like an earthquake needle, because sometimes you're talking about things that makes you feel good and sometimes you're talking about things that bring memories that doesn't make you feel so good. So they're all over the place. Sometimes those memories are good and you're kind of, you're enjoying it, and sometimes those memories they're not making you feel so good. So your needle is all over the place. For the people that I teach tennis, I always I like to tell them and say, okay, when you're playing or when you're doing any sport or when you're doing pretty much any activity, I like to talk about the tennis example, because in a sport that happens so fast, so many things happening so fast in a matter of seconds, the emotions are all over the place, and there are emotions that go up and they're big and they're small, they're good and they're bad. You see that, let's say that you're playing tennis, and the moment you serve, you see your serve, and immediately you have an emotion, you have a thought and emotion, and say that serve is not good. So you're now thinking, I have to be defensive now because my opponent is probably going to attack. And then you're watching your opponent's body language. He's moving towards the ball, and if he looks like he's going to get to that shot pretty easy, or he's going to be in good position to swing. So he hits the ball and he makes contact with the ball, and even the sound that he makes hitting the shot gives you an idea of what kind of shot he's making. You can hear a pretty good, powerful sound, and you say, oh, he's hitting that ball hard. So he had the time to be aggressive, and that ball is coming back fast at me. So I gotta react. See, so your emotions, now you're in even more alert position in order to react to the shot. And then you read the shot, the incoming shot, and then you move. Oh, that was not a good shot. That was a good shot for him, but not for me. So I gotta cover that. I gotta move quickly, react, go. So those are emotions that happens in tennis is in fractions of seconds. And then you gotta move, and then you make the shot, and you say, okay, I got there good, in good position, in good balance, so I made good contact, and my shot is good. So you're feeling good now, and you're seeing the other guy struggling, moving towards the ball, and that gives you another emotion, or he's gonna be in trouble. So now you recover and you're alert because he's probably gonna make a weak shot back, and you want to jump on that shot. So everything happens really fast, and if you don't learn, if that's why as a tennis player you have to learn. It's very important to learn. It's vital to learn to control your emotion, and it's vital to learn to stay centered, to keep a balance. So It's when we have a conversation with people, when you're driving home, when you're at home, when you're at work, pretty much all over the place, there is emotional currency in everything. And that needle sometimes goes up and sometimes stays low. So for the for when for those of us that we have a friend that is very emotional, that needle is always going crazy, and that needle goes crazy for that person at work, and that needle goes crazy for that person when they're at home, and that and they even crazy and unbalanced mentally, even when you go to the movies, even when you go and do something that is supposed to be entertaining, good for you to relax. So pretty much this is, we're talking about people that they become slaves to their emotions. They have no control whatsoever of themselves. And just imagine that this there is emotions all over the place, all over the place. You can stop in the middle of, you can stop right on a sidewalk and just looking around, and you're gonna see that you can have all kinds of emotions in just 20 seconds. You can have a really nice car driving by, and then you can see a guy driving like crazy, and then you see the lady walking with a beautiful dog. I mean, it's just so many things here and there, all over the place, and our head is like that. There is just emotions all over the place. And for someone that doesn't have balance, and doesn't have that balance, and that doesn't learn that to stay calm, is very difficult to control themselves. Why? Because you're gonna find the emotions all over the place. This is people that each one of us has a certain have a certain amount of emotional imbalance. Some people are really good at controlling themselves, so their emotional balance is pretty good. Some people are not really good at controlling themselves, so their emotional balance is really low. So what do? I mean, imagine, just think about it. On everything you do in your life, it's gonna be emotions. Everything you do, even if you don't come in contact with any other person, there is gonna be emotional things around you. You can check on the internet, and you can start reading the newspapers, or listening to a song, or probably I mean, it's just so many, it's just all over the place, on the computer, on the TV, on your phone. The moment that you open your eyes in the morning, and the first thing you check is your phone, just in that moment, that is a huge amount of emotions coming towards you, just checking the phone. And that can put you in a really bad position from the moment you wake up. Because you see the politician that you hate, or your team lost the game last night, or you got the mail from the guy that you don't like, or you just got bad news from work. I mean, just the moment. That's why it's so important that when you wake up and you grab your phone, you're immediately going from that usually peaceful place when we're asleep, and we jump into the world right away. Right away. And then your mind starts working and going crazy and crazy and crazy. And that's in the morning. In the morning, when it's a time that you should have more peace and have no contact with that, at least for a while. I wake up and I try my first 30 minutes to an hour, no contact at all. I try not to turn on the TV. I do not check my phone, because I say, it's the morning. It's a time that I want to start the day, and I want to get in a good mood. I want to get I want to feel good with myself. I want to feel like, okay, I'm gathering my energy. I'm going to go work out, or if I'm going to go to work, I want to go feeling well. But the moment I allow TV, computer, phone, or I mean, there anything that can throw you off, anything that can create those emotions in you, I just try to put it away from you at least for a few minutes, before you start your day. Now, if the emotions are all over the place, that's why I like to call it emotional currency, because it's all over the place, and it changes. It changes in a conversation between you and the other person. You're talking with that person, and just in the conversation, your emotional state can be so different. Sometimes feeling good and sometimes feeling bad. Sometimes you're balanced and sometimes you're not. So it's unbelievable. It's hard for me to believe how little attention people put to not developing self-control, not developing emotional intelligence and emotional balance. When to me it's like the guy that says, I don't know how to swim, but I'm jumping in the ocean, and jumps in the ocean, and what the one thing that you're surrounded is water. And when we wake up, and the things that we're all surrounded by is emotions. And it's amazing. It's for the people that have never really developed at least a little bit of that emotional balance. If you pay attention to it, if you really try to be more mindful of the way you're thinking and the way you're processing things, of your reactions, of your perceptions, of your self-language, of all those things, just being more mindful of where you're standing in the moment, it's amazing. Just developing just a little bit of self-control, you notice a big difference. It's a whole different style of life that you can have. How you do that, well, that's something that I want to leave for another video, but this is just something that I wanted to talk about, because a lot of people they don't seem to process how important and how much it can change your life when you can develop that control, when you the more tranquil, the calmer you become, life is so much easier and everything seems so much clearer. Doesn't mean that you're gonna be always boring and quiet and all that. No, you can be the same person. You can be playful and you can be, alive, and you can be excited. But the only thing is, you're not. It's amazing when something is supposed to be hitting you and you see it coming and it doesn't touch you. Something that you think in the past, I would have gone crazy about that. But things don't hit you as hard. You see them coming. Doesn't mean that they don't have an effect on you. They do, but they don't throw you off. You don't lose your balance. You don't lose your head. You don't lose your courage. You don't lose your faith or your determination or your perseverance. So I just wanted to talk about this, guys. I'll do the next video about how can we work to create that self-control. But well, in the meantime, just do the homework. Be mindful. Think about, step out of yourself and look at yourself, at how you think, how you react to things in life. How are your perceptions, your judgment, in general, how you react to life, okay? Well, guys, be bold, centered, and perseverant, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.